towards the 70th minute of the game, Amad Diallo was seen down, onto the pitch, and he was helpless. And everyone was like, what's really wrong with the boy that had gone hit, obviously put out a very impeccable performance into that fixture that United was playing Arsenal. And I was like, is the spell of Amad Diallo onto, or does it always come through when you're playing Arsenal? Because you remember that the injury that kept him out for close to 6 months and costed him this season was goal 10 when you're playing against Arsenal. You remember, he came off and he got an ankle injury. You understand? So, Eric Ten Hag and Amad Diallo have gone ahead to give us an update onto the injury update of Amad Diallo, and we're here to obviously wait and see how things are really going to come out and really pan out in here onto the United Matters channel. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David is my name. Third video of the day, and I tell you, after this video in the morning, we are going to come up with what we call the match preview of United versus Newcastle, a game of football that is going to be played on Wednesday at Old Trafford. Though the roof was leaking, but it has been confirmed the game of football is going to be happening at the stadium of Old Trafford. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly to the Christians. We are talking Roy Keane, and then we are having an update of why Manchester United have gone ahead to obviously cancel the awarding ceremony of this year because of the reasons that have gone ahead to be given that might be 60-70% known to the people down there. So let's see close to 300 likes in this video, and let's not forget to subscribe to this channel. I brought you his game by numbers. He had 100% duels and he completed all his take-ons. He had 100% duels won, and the tackles were really complete. That is Amad Diallo for you. He really looked good, and everyone would love to see him start in that game of Newcastle, because all along we've been here and our case has been, why doesn't Amad Diallo get into the starting 11 of Man United? Now, after the game of Arsenal yesterday, that is a Sunday, the manager of Man United went ahead and obviously said the following onto the injury of the player. And he said, not yet. Obviously, it's a knock. And of course, it's also he didn't start at all. So it's his first start. He did well. He was very bright, very confident. I thought also there was a reason that in the end he was out of fitness and came off. We have to see tomorrow what it is. So he went down and sat on the pitch, and he was looking all in pain. And remember, he felt like his knee had a problem when Thomas Partey slid into what we call a sliding tackle that prevented him to shoot that ball into the back of the net. That is Amad Diallo. When he went ahead to Malone himself, past very many people in there. So the manager says, first and foremost, it's all about him having what we call having gone ahead to take long without starting a game for the club of Man United. You know that he had not started a game for Man United. I think it last started when we were in the preseason, but when we were into competitive football, he obviously couldn't start. He came on, I think, when you're playing against Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Burnley, and very many others. That is Amad Diallo for you. So his minutes have not been good. So it looks like in the 68th minute, you see, he was really down, and they came ahead and really took him off, and they brought on Anthony to do the job. So I was really excited about this year, lad, and I've been reiterating these words for a very, very long period of time onto what this guy is and how special he is for the club of Man United. I know how important he is and how good he's gonna get, because he is really one of those players that you have to really do the needful and really bet your money on, because he's really a very good player, and I really like what he keeps on doing in there. So he's really one of those that I look at and really understand that at his age, 21, 22 years of age, he's really one of those players that we should build onto this season for Man United. But before he went to sleep, and I think yesterday, Amadi Diallo went ahead and obviously put out the following post. You know, having gone ahead to put in a very good performance when he left the pitch, all the people, like especially the straightforward end, who was like screaming his name, and Ahmad went to his Instagram and said the knee to knee in the first half bothered me, in the second half, otherwise I'm fine. But I cannot come out and really give you a conclusive stance that he's really okay, because even when he got that knock in the game of Arsenal on his ankle, he went ahead and said he's okay. But it took him close to 5 months to obviously get back to play for the club of Man United. And for me, all I would really urge everyone who is watching in that tomorrow, let's wait and see what Erik ten Hag is going to tell us in the press conference, whether this guy is really going to be available, right? Gate, you know, we are just waiting to see whether Erik ten Hag is going to come out and really show us that this guy is really going to be readily available. And I tell you why I have Amad Diallo to be on this. It helps us to push Marcus Rashford out of our team. Why? When Ten Hag gets to know that he has Anthony and Ahmad as two players that are going to compete for the right attacking side of the midfield, because he doesn't want to really drop Anthony, you know, that means he won't start Garnacho as a right forward. He'll always have either Garnacho on the pitch or Rashford, you know, meaning that one will be on the bench and no one will be guaranteed to play 90 minutes. That will help us a lot, because every player that comes on will play accordingly to the instructions being given to him by the manager of the club. So I would love to see Anthony be one of those players into the ilk when Manchester United is playing against the side of Newcastle on Wednesday. But all in all, it's really exciting that he's really one of those players that have gone ahead to put up a show. I just love the player. I tell you, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Joan Cloud, with their plans of bringing in Olise, when they look at how Ahmad plays, they might change their mind and obviously say, we might be willing to spend £65 million, yet you're really having a player who can really put in a very beautiful shift. I tell you, if Ahmad can keep fit, he can really cost every team he faces. All he needs is enough playing time, because we're always going to hate to say these players that every time they get ample playing time, they turn into very, very good players. I was looking at Tengi Mengi at Luton Town on how he has gone ahead obviously to turn around his season, you know, at Luton Town. He has gone ahead to play very many games, and he has been one of the best defenders and best players for that side, meaning that there was a very good player in him, but he lacked what we call ample playing time. And when he got it, you now see how he's really looking. Look at Chongi, you know, most players. Look at Andreas Pereira. He was one of those players that was not getting ample playing time at Man United. All what he was trying was falling apart, and he said, let me go back to Brazil. He went ahead and really played back in Brazil, and Fulham got him back. And this is his, I think, second season at Fulham, and he's really doing great at the club of Fulham. So we wait and see how that pans out, but I would love to see to it that Amad Diallo remains part of the club of Manchester United. And I'm all ears to see what Erik ten Hag will have to say about this man's injury stains in the press conference that he's going to be doing today. Now, The Athletic have told us that Man United have cancelled the club's traditional end-of-season awards dinner, with the club saying they do not want to provide any distractions ahead of the upcoming FA Cup final against Man City. I think this is not the reason. The reason is that Manchester United have gone ahead to obviously put in a very, very disgusting performance. You cannot come out and really hold those awards in there when you've gone ahead to finish. Right now we are 7th on the league table, and it might even get ugly and we'll get 8th if you don't win our remaining 2 games. That's how ugly it's gonna get. So it is really very, very confusing for the club of Manchester United that a lot is really happening that way, and we're having Chelsea ahead of us. We're having Newcastle and Chelsea, Newcastle, and Spurs. 3 teams ahead of us, and that means we are 8th. So, what is the reason for Manchester United to hold these? What's the reason for the club of Manchester United to obviously go ahead and really hold what we call these awards, you know? So, no reason for us to hold those awards, because no reason to celebrate, nothing else, you know? And I'm really very much supportive of that decision. We should focus on to rebuilding this club, and maybe next season we'll have a reason to celebrate. But I tell you what, we have no reason to celebrate. We're really gonna have to have a very bad season, and injuries have been like injuries. We should be finding solutions to what is not going on wrong, not going on right at the club of Man United, and turn it around before even the preseason starts, because we anticipate a very busy summer transfer window. That is it. So we go to Roy Keane. He had something to say after the game of Arsenal. United was beaten by 1 goal to 0. He said, the disappointment for me in the last half an hour was United. Arsenal have come to Old Trafford over the years and found it difficult, but I bet Arsenal couldn't believe how bad United were. Whatever bits of possession they had, the end product and lack of quality, you talk about the great teams United had over the years, the players they've had. That last half an hour, decision making, nobody diggling anybody out, making mistakes, falling apart, not putting in demands on each other. That United team, they are so bad. Now, you know, I really look at him and I really understand why he cannot be a coach. He's always looking out for that negative at Manchester United, you know. All in all, they've always had to say Manchester United, however much they've gone ahead to win, they lack control. Now, yesterday, the game was in control of Man United, and they never went ahead to give us credit. I would love to say that objectivity is what I love. Come out and say United end product to their game was really deadly, but they found themselves doing better in possession, you know. And if they had maybe Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, or any other experienced player up front, maybe he would have gone ahead to pull out a moment of magic into that game of football. You understand? That's what I anticipated from these people. But objectivity is really off. The end product was off. Garnacho was wasteful. We all know that. People have gone ahead, obviously, come out and slate Rasmus Højlund for the only one chance he got, and yet he slipped. You get? And do you know how many times, you know, that man hasn't gone ahead to get in creations? Tomorrow I'm bringing you a video strictly Rasmus Højlund to expose people around him. So guys, thank you very much for watching through your thoughts about Amad Diallo injury update. I welcome in the comment section below. What do you think about Roy Keane's statements after that loss of Arsenal and United not holding their annual club or end of year awards? Good morning, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. And for the Muslims, Barak Laufikum, and let's continue spreading the love, not hate. All right? We love you all. Third video. Hope those 3 videos sit in you very, very, very well. Ciao, ciao.